We worked with Sphero devices at the March 2015 workshop. We concentrated on potential uses from kindergarten to second grade. The intent is to become familiar with them so that the schools have the potential to use Sphero during that final week of school in order to begin exploring some ideas that relate to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. A 3-hour charge gives approximately 1 hour of usage. When you take it out of the charging device, you either shake it or give it 2 taps on the table and it will begin blinking, cycling through 3 colors. Sphero works with Bluetooth, so the first step is turning Bluetooth on the device that you're working with, whether it's an iOS or an Android device. It will look for any active Spheros. The Sphero device name is based on the colors that it flashes when you wake it up. So the Sphero in this example was flashing green, red, then yellow. Once you tap the device, it will be connected, and then you can use whichever apps you're interested in. The apps for the most part are free, and the first app that we used was Sphero Drive. We also looked at the Draw and Drive, Pinwheel, and Color Grab apps. When the Drive app starts, it has a little tutorial asking you to place Sphero on the ground, shows you a light blue tail light, asks you to touch and hold the aiming mechanism to point the tail light at your feet, and then you test it. If it tests properly, the Sphero goes straight ahead on the ground, and it reminds you that you can re-aim the Sphero's heading anytime you want with the aim button. The control screen is fairly easy to use. You just hold your finger down and swipe around. This is the aiming feature. You can see that dark blue taillight. And here are some little video clips of our tech integration specialists testing out the Sphero with the Sphero Drive. We had tables set up with the 4 apps and some books and a pairing station. With the Drive app, we learned to set up mazes with blocks and drive the Sphero through those maze blocks.
An O. An O or an S.
The Drive and Draw app allows you to draw something on the screen and then hit play to watch it go. Some investigations children might want to do are what shapes are possible to draw, what shapes are difficult to draw, and what might we be able to do to make the app draw what we're attempting.
Or you could try a circle or a triangle, a T. And so the question is, can it make a T?
I know.
And so
at one of the stations, we looked at 4 picture books that might be very useful in working with kindergarten to second grade to set up their ideas about using these devices. One of the best was What is a Scientist? And it would help to focus the children before they worked on any of these apps with what a scientist is and does and how they might examine the Sphero. So for example, when you're building a maze, how long could you make a maze? What kind of turn can you make the ball do successfully? When looking at the Draw and Drive app, you might investigate what kind of letters do you think might the computer be able to draw? What letters might the computer have trouble drawing? And if there's trouble drawing the shape, what could you maybe do in order to make the shape work better? In the book, What Can You Do with an Idea? You can investigate the different types of ideas you might have for building mazes or building buildings that perhaps you could have the Sphero tumble down. Using these Spheros can work towards the idea of what do scientists do, what do engineers do. And so Yes I Can, Clover Ann is a great book about a little girl whose playground keeps getting flooded and how she and her friends brainstorm a way to make the floods not happen when it rains so hard. And finally, Engineering the ABCs just talks about the different types of jobs and how engineers shape our world. The pinwheel game, Color Pinwheel, works like a Simon game, and it would be very useful for color and pattern recognition. In the color grab game, the app asks you to pick up the Sphero as it spins to a particular color.
It did.
Nope.
I have a really hard time with this one.
It's very particular.
Yes, it is.
It's important to remember that these ideas are intended for kindergarten to second grade. Apps like the Color Grab can be useful when introducing more complex ideas such as programming in Sphero. The older students could be challenged to investigate the Color Grab game and try to program the Sphero to do a very similar task on their own. If you didn't have a chance to attend the workshop, feel free to let me know and come on down. You can try out a Sphero. We also have 14 available, so if you'd like to arrange to borrow one or a few for your school, that's possible as well.